Hi there, I'm Dr. Zhang from Paddington Medical Clinic, and today I would like to bring your attention to a few key points about protecting your health as young women. Okay, so sometimes you might feel that life is a big balancing act, often taken up by the many facets of your life, like for example, maybe your spouse, your children, your work, and sometimes you don't even seem to have time for yourself at all. So some of the tips that I'm suggesting only take a fraction of your time. If you think about it, out of 365 days a year, just probably one day of the year you can set aside for this. Since it involves your wellness and your health, I think it's worth it. Okay, so I have come across many women just like you who have asked me the following questions generally about physical wellness, and also remember to stay until the end to hear some tips on social and mental wellness as well, which are also equally important. So let's start off with this question first. So what is cervical cancer? That's the first thing. So cervical cancer is a cancer arising from the cervix, which is basically between the uterus as well as the birth canal. It's the connecting part. So it is caused by a long-lasting human papilloma virus or HPV virus that is commonly transmitted during intercourse. Okay, so that is how cervical cancer arises. So how do you protect yourself against cervical cancer? So there are three ways. The first way is to get the cervical cancer vaccination. The second way is to get regular Pap Smear done, and the third is to get HPV DNA testing done. Okay, so first let's talk about what is cervical cancer vaccination. So it's a form of vaccination that protects against certain subtypes of the HPV virus that tend to cause cervical cancer. It is approved for females 9 years and up, and according to the National Adult Immunization Schedule, it is approved all the way until 26, basically for its cost effectiveness. But in general, for most women, I will recommend, if let's say as long as you have had intercourse before, I will recommend that you do get the vaccination done. It is most effective before such exposure, but you still benefit women who are still active, because if you've not been exposed to the HPV virus, then the vaccine will help cover you. So in that sense, it's still useful. Okay, let's move on to the next question, which is what is a Pap Smear? So a Pap Smear is a clinical test where a doctor will insert a small instrument into your birth canal to hold the walls apart and swab the cervix to get some cells. It's used to detect potentially cancerous and precancerous cells on the cervix. If detected early, it can also help to you have a greater chance of a cure if detected positive. So usually we recommend it for women to do it every 3 years at minimum. Okay, so then leads to the next question, which is what is the difference between HPV DNA testing and Pap Smear, which is what many women ask me as well. In addition to the Pap Smear, the HPV test is even more detailed. It will check if the cells from the cervix has the genetic material of the high-risk cancer-causing strains of the virus, so like type 16 and type 18. So if it can actually even be detected even before the Pap Smear appears abnormal, which means that you can have even earlier detection of potential future cervical cancer. So that's the additional benefit of the HPV testing over the Pap Smear. So to see whether which is more suitable for you, then do discuss this with your doctor. Okay, so then the next part I'll be talking about is basically about breast cancer. So breast cancer is a type of cancer that arises in the breast when the cells grow in an uncontrolled manner, causing a tumor. So but do note, not all kinds of breast lumps are cancerous. Some of them can be benign. So how do you protect against breast cancer? So basically do regular breast examination. Usually I'll recommend you get it done after your period, in the shower regularly, so you know what abnormal lumps do feel like if they do arise. If you are between 40 to 49 years old, of course go for a yearly mammogram, and if you are 50 years and above, then it's every 2 yearly. Okay, so the next question usually women ask is what is a mammogram? So a mammogram is basically is an x-ray between two plates that are placed on the breast, and it helps to detect early signs of breast cancer even before they are felt through certain features that we see on the x-ray. Okay, so but for women who are less than 40 years old but you have quite significant family history of breast cancer, then there are also alternative forms of screening like ultrasound of the breast, which are also available. Okay, so apart from cancer, so there are other health issues and problems that you should protect yourself against. So general lifestyle advice that I will give will be to quit smoking, avoid too much alcohol, try to eat healthier. So I did mention eat healthier, not eat healthy, because sometimes it can be quite difficult. So just do the best that you can consciously. Getting regular physical activity and exercise, which for me is also a challenge, and no running after children as well as doing household chores do not count as regular physical activity. I mean actually designated time to do exercise, okay? So along the same thought process, try to set aside some time to get enough sleep. If you can, get your kids in a routine of sleeping early, and then you have some downtime after that, then you can relax, and then after that try and hit the hay early if possible. So getting enough sleep is quite important for mental health as well. So last but not least, also screen for diseases regularly. So I mean regularly means yearly is good enough. How to screen for diseases. So as a basic guide, I will usually recommend to screen for high blood pressure, cholesterol, and diabetes, which is generally, like I mentioned, good enough on a yearly basis. What we see is high cholesterol is actually quite a frequent issue that appears, but not many women are very keen to take medications for it. But it's fine as long as you're ready to make small lifestyle changes which can cause big differences in your health long term. Okay, so it's better to know than not to know, right? So now that we have talked about the physical aspect, let's talk a little bit more about the social aspect of mental wellness, of wellness in general. So this refers to the ability to form healthy and rewarding interpersonal relationships with others. So like forming your social network. So it has become more and more important as we emerge from the pandemic. So whether the people that you rely on are your family, which could be, could be your boyfriend, your spouse, your kids, your relatives, your siblings, your friends, or whoever you choose to be your life pillars, these are the people who will get you through life's toughest challenges, and it also can build your resilience and your psychological health, which brings me to my next point, which is about mental health, which sometimes can be overlooked if you're too busy juggling everyone and everything else in your life. So what I mean is actually setting aside some me time, which could be maybe 30 minutes to an hour every day, or maybe a full 2 hours a week. This really depends on how your schedule looks like. So it could be the lunch break that you have at work, or it could be the the hour that your kid takes a nap, or maybe the time right after they sleep at night. So wherever you can fit it in your schedule, think about something that you can do that recharges you, that's independent of everything else around you. So like, for example, a hobby that calms you down. It could be exercising, gardening, crafting, reading. For me, it's crocheting. So to be honest, sometimes I actually combine everything. So I combine my kid time with spouse time, with Netflix time, and with crocheting time. So anyway, so you do what's right for you and what works for you, right? So that about sums up what I have to say. As a summary, remember to protect your health as young women in terms of your physical health, your social health, as well as your mental health. Screen for cancers and diseases regularly. Build up your social network so you can rely on them in times of need. And also remember to set aside some me time to recharge every once in a while. If you have any specific questions about screening for cancers or diseases in general, remember to find your trusted doctor to discuss and find out more. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope it has been helpful for you.